Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, Mixed Martial Mindset with Jon Fitch over at jonfitch.net. That's where you can find everything Jon Fitch, from his YouTube channel, which you need to go subscribe to where you can catch him at seminars like the one that you did Friday or Saturday. Jon, why don't you tell us about that?
Yep. Yeah, I did a basic self-defense seminar. This will be the first of a number I'm going to be doing around here in the Bay Area, trying to perfect something I can put together for a online course. So you can be part of my experiment and learn early before prices go up. And you got to do it online.
And prices will be shooting up soon, folks.
Yes.
Minimum wage has gone up in New York. Did it do anything in California? Do you know?
No, it's just there's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of homeless camps. And I don't know if you're not. I don't know. You're either in the tech business or you commute into town from somewhere cheaper to live, and you do a service job for the tech people.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if you've been seeing anything on our New York bail reform, but I didn't think things could be as nightmarish as they are. But I mean, it's now a revolving door.
I've seen a number of crimes have been committed by somebody because they didn't get put on bail.
I mean, more than that. Let me give you an example. A mile away from me, Jon, I'm in a relatively small area in upstate New York, right? On New Year's Eve, not even like New Year's Eve time, like 7:45 at night. There's one stretch of highway. It's about, I don't know, 2 miles, maybe 2 miles, 3 lights, okay? Most of it is 55, but like where this guy was, it goes to 30 pretty quick, right? He ran down a girl who was walking, killed her, essentially. Now, at the time, she was just brain dead, but by the time she got to the hospital, it was over, and she was named dead like 3-4 days ago. He had no license, a bunch of priors, okay? No license, a bunch of priors, and they let him drive away. Like back, like even a month ago, before this happened,
drove away from being arrested.
Drove away. They didn't. They did all the processing, gave him the tickets and the time to show up to court. They didn't even take him to jail and tow his car. They let him drive away, bro. This is my small town. All right. I had a guy come into, and don't worry, guys, this is still Mixed Martial Mindset. We'll be talking everything Conor Cowboy. But I had somebody going into the local pizzeria I hang out in that I used to, I'm still great friends with the owner, work for him like, forever. And this guy came in with a picture of a dude to my old boss. And he goes, "Have you seen this guy?" And he goes, "No, I don't know who that is." Why? He goes, "You see him, you call me immediately." He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "This guy fucking kicked in my mother's door, robbed the entire fucking place, and he's out." He's like, "We didn't get anything back. Place is destroyed, and this guy is out." And people are irate. Listen, they might be used to that in squalor cities, or people might think that New York City is the rest of where we live here. And I know you did some time in Syracuse, but it isn't.
Yeah.
We're not used to that sort of thing. And I can't even, I mean, dude, they retroactively let a guy go who they charged with aggravated manslaughter, easily could have said murder instead, who stabbed a woman to get death. It was 29. He lives across the street from a school. I can keep going.
It's all you hear before is all the horrors that happened because somebody couldn't afford bail and they got stuck. Yeah, so then they changed the rules, and then even worse shit happens.
I mean, some of these stories, listen, case by case basis. I'm not a monster, but you don't let somebody who robs a bank in Colony and his getaway driver both just off. You know why? Because then you invite people from fucking Pennsylvania to have a go in my state. And hey, if you get out, you can just jump to the next state. Who cares? Hey, maybe I'll come back to New York. Try again. Yeah. Flick off. Thank you so much for that super chat sticker. All right. We need to get to it. We need to talk about it. Before we even talk about the fight itself, we've been talking about it here forever, Jon, but it's pro wrestling, baby. And if anything screamed pro wrestling, it was this week's fight promotion. Why don't you just talk about what you saw from your angle?
No, I mean, I don't know. It seemed like from my perspective, it looked like Donald Cerrone didn't care if he won or lost. he, like he got paid the money. It seemed like maybe he didn't want to fight again anyways. Maybe he was already done, and they talked him into fighting one last one for a loot of money. I don't know.
So here's conspiracy theorist Jason. I mean, all week they're framing this guy as a family man. Oh, he's taking care of his wee babies. Took him to Vegas with him. He's got him on his arms. Oh, he's always talking about his family and his ma back home, who he dedicated the fight to. His charity, a proper fucking whiskey. And they don't let him out in public once. The first time they do. The first time they do, John, in a controlled setting where they've already screened everybody, somebody working for the New York Times, Morgan Campbell, asks that question. That question that shall not be asked. And what did they do? They went back to their staged ESPN interview. Yes, they did, from the night before, where Ariel Helwani couldn't even say the words rape or the word sexual assault. He could only say allegations. Never go into those allegations. Never go into whether or not he walked into a police officer with his barrister and said that he had consensual sex with a woman who was literally in bits 4 days later.
So because through that he placed himself in the location that the crime happened.
The location? He said they had consensual sex.
Yeah.
The woman was hospitalized for fucking days. For days, and wouldn't give a formal statement about the guy for almost a month. She was so scared shitless. I mean, listen, I give props to Campbell. I even give props to Luke Thomas saying, listen, it was wrong what they did to that guy. Even the guy that was retweeting me, John, that Aaron Brostetter, he actually stood up for the guy too. But when he asked Dana, he got a one-on-one with Dana in that same week, you know? And he asked him if they did their own investigation into it after the whole ordeal. And he's like, why would we do an investigation? There was no charges. Does anyone honestly believe that the UFC or someone on their behalf didn't do an investigation when Conor literally said, when Ariel Helwani said, was there any trouble getting into the country? He said, oh, Ariel, oh, the UFC, they be a great company, don't they, Ariel? All the people in the background.
Pulled some strings.
I mean, he literally admits it, John. So they play all this stuff up. And like, we're going to blow the roof off this motherfucker. Cowboy is the one. And by the way, that's where I lost a lot of respect for Cerrone. I couldn't disrespect him for wanting a payday later in his career. But jumping in as the first person to yell at the reporter asking the sexual assault question to your fucking...
He doesn't want anybody to mess with his money. He doesn't want anybody to mess with his money. He's like, shut up, guys. You're fucking this up for me. Shut up.
All right, well then, you know what? If it's not fixed, if it wasn't a fucking fixed fight, John, then why wouldn't you go for that other 200 grand since he was only getting paid 200K to show and 200K to win? I've seen Donald Cerrone complain after he was knocked senseless in the Gaethje fight that they stopped it too early. You could see him look up and see if the ref was going to stop it. He didn't shoot for his ankle. He didn't try to take a leg, an arm. He didn't land a strike the first time in his entire career. He went 2 fucking rounds with Tony fucking Ferguson. 2 fucking rounds, guys. And they didn't stop it because it was over. They stopped it because his eyes was fucking closed shut. Justin Gaethje hits like a fucking train. Watch that fight. I mean, listen, on Rockfin exclusively, because I can't get away with it on this platform. And by the way, I want to do something exclusive with you this week, John, especially because it has an MMA, BJJ, and wrestling background. And I mean, obviously, you know all that stuff. But I'm going to do an exclusive where we slow down the actual fight. We show it point by point. We show you the fucking Gaethje fight. Hey, dude, this is a guy, first of all, they're giving a title shot to. He's gone 4-11. Or I believe it was 4-11, 4-7 in his last 11 fights, and he went 8-8 in his last 16. Okay, now a lot of those are wars. A lot of people forget that Masvidal fight he had 3 years ago, where he got KO'd, was a fucking war. You know, Till, he's fought a lot of tough guys.
He's been standing and begging for a long time. Like, there's not much left on his chin. Like. That's what I was thinking. My thoughts were he probably had retired already. He was getting ready to announce his retirement, and they called him with this fight. They're like,
I just listen, man.
How much for one more?
I never say fights are fixed, and I'm not 100% sure this one was. But for him to not land a strike, for him to stop after that head kick that, yeah, caught him on the jaw, but it caught him with the toes. And you watch it in slow motion, he starts to regain his balance. And then he realizes this is his way out. And that's it. He doesn't throw another fucking thing. He doesn't shoot. He doesn't try to take anything. The only time that Cerrone has ever wilted, and it's never in the first round, when something like that has happened, body shot. Never something to the head. Never. The Gaethje one, yes, he got clocked and he covered up. He took 2 unnecessary shots, but he wasn't rolling around looking for the ref to stop the fight. And quite frankly, I was kind of surprised that Herb the Fix's MD and didn't stop it earlier. I didn't. No, I joke. I like Herb. I would never.
So now they're talking about getting man. So this is my theory. Okay, this is my super deluxe conspiracy theory.
Let's go.
All right, Conor knew there was no chance in hell that he was going to beat Khabib. Right, so he was going to purposely take a year off and do steroids, and his combination of testosterone, cocaine, and whiskey led to the sexual assaults because he was out of control. Irrational behavior with that cocktail, and then he's put on the size that he's put on to fight at 170.
They're letting him juice, dude.
Up.
They're letting him juice.
Now he can cut down and lean out and be a much stronger 55-pounder to fight Khabib, and then try to get that fight lined up again, thinking that an extra 10 pounds of muscle is going to make a difference.
It's a win-win for Disney anyway. I'm just calling the UFC Disney from now on. Disney, it's a win-win for Disney Entertainment any way you look at it. Because, all right, no offense to Khabib or Tony Ferguson, but there are plenty of fights where one of them's gotten injured. Okay, whether or not they go too hard in camp, fluke Tony fucking slips and falls wearing the wrong thing, like having shades on or hitting sneakers. Remember that one? I mean, it could happen. I'm praying it doesn't. First of all, I've been waiting to see that fight for 4 to 5 years, I believe, was the first time it was put on. It's a fight a hardcore like me has wanted to see for a very long time because Tony Ferguson, even when he looks like he's out.
Tony and then Gaethje are like really the only interesting matchups left.
I agree. Well, listen, 155 has been, in my opinion, probably the best division for a while overall. I mean, it has. I can't think of a better division that's put out more stars that not only have looked good against each other competitively, but stuck around long, like this long. Like you look at somebody like, Chan Sung Young. I mean, he's fighting at 145, but he could fight at 155. I think he could be competitive there. That's a tough division. So Gaethje, Ferguson. I think Ferguson and I mean, obviously, look, you don't count the guy out that's 28-0. That's never lost a round, ever. But, Tony Ferguson, I mean, I want to see that fight. He's earned it, in my opinion, right? He's shut everybody else down in that division. He's cleaned house. He deserves that fight. He deserves it way more than fucking Conor deserved the first fight. Or any
other fight.
Well, that's the other thing. He's the greatest. John, he's the champ. He never fucking defended either belt one time. Not one time. He didn't defend either belt. Like, listen, man, people may shit on Jon Jones all they want, and I think this Reyes kid is hungry. I'm interested in that fight. I still think Corey Anderson got the shaft. But at the end of the day, if Jon Jones taking every fucking piece of juice he's got or gear that he can get, fucking doing rails of cocaine before he steps out there, if he puts the wax on him, that fucking guy has defended that belt how many times? How many fucking times? I mean, Vitor Belfort's probably still the closest guy to taking him out, and Lyoto Machida is probably still the guy who's hit him on the chin the cleanest. I can't think of, I mean, Cormier caught him a few times, not like Machida caught him. That's something to say, dude.
I wish that Cormier would actually go and wrestle him.
Dude,
he's fought him twice, and I've never really seen a half-assed shot at all. Like,
I think on the first one, the first fight he tried, but I think he hated him so much, especially by that second fight. He just wanted to bang, dude. Have you ever had that? That's a great John Fitch question. That you fucking hated him.
Because you can wrestle him for one round, get him exhausted, and then you could bang another round. Like, get him tired first.
Yeah, but when you're on the super juice and you're doing blow, I mean,
you might not be in complete control.
Fucking the wheels were all over Chuck Liddell. He wasn't gassing. That third round, he was.
He just made sure every shot counted.
I love Chuck. Hey, they just put a jacket on him. You see that? They gave him the UFC jacket. I mean, not that he didn't deserve it. I mean, that guy helped make the sport as mainstream as it is today. I mean,
Yep.
if there was one super, and you know what?
Between
As far as I know, he didn't have to rape to
Tito
do it,
and
John.
Chuck. I mean, those guys carried those letters for a very long time. You know,
Going back to that question, is there ever a fight that you feel like the emotions did get in the way because you just dislike the guy that much?
no,
Never.
I never got personal about fights, or it was just I had a mission to do. I trained myself to win and follow a certain path, and that was it. I didn't have a emotional
What about in high school or college when
connection.
you just wanted to beat the fuck out of some guy?
Um, I don't know. Excuse me. I was never like that. I never wanted to pick fights or really fight people. I always wanted to put things into training or whatever. I always had
Pick
a good.
fights? No one ever picked one with you. You never had to step to a guy
I only
outside.
fought. That was one reason I went and became a professional fighter, is because I'd never really gotten into like a real fight. Like we had a few times I fought teammates at practice, but that's not real.
Uh-huh.
And then a couple brawls in a college campus when everybody's drunk. That's not even really a fight either. Um, that line in Fight Club is like how do you really know who you are if you've never been in a fight or something like that? And I was like, damn, I've never really been in a fight, so I thought I'd try it.
And try it you have, my friend. Here we are,
And
January 20th. I guess I'd be remiss not to sneak this in here somewhere. Bellator is just getting back to their cards. I think this next weekend is their first card back in January after the Risen cards. Have you heard anything about the possibility of Lima?
nope, I don't think it's not looking good right now. I don't really think I'm in consideration for a fight with Lima.
Ugh. Us, Coker, what did you
Mm,
do?
I
Come
don't know
on,
what they're
man.
doing.
Talk about pro wrestling. Well, all right. Then why not try to get out of your contract and sign up for the fucking season of PFL and go for the mill there, man? Rory's in there. I mean, they could fuck you twice. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
They
that's a
very well
good. You know
could.
what? I mean, I look at it that way. I'd say that. Listen, if you're not going to give me the fight, let me out of my contract. Let me go there. The PFL would love to build that rivalry, right? Especially
Mm.
because you're the only one with a winning card. They're getting no press any other way. Take some advice. I mean, I'm an asshole, but I'm not a big asshole. I think that should be like, I think you could clear out fucking, and you know what? You'll have to fight there. I mean, there's
Mhm.
no choice. I mean, they've got a preseason before that, but what's the worst they're gonna do? Set you up with somebody before the Rory fight and put you in the tournament in the regular season? Dude, do it.
Mm.
7 more fights. You go out on top with $1 million check. Come on, and it'll be in the Garden. I'd come down and watch. It'd be great. Just boom, just fucking tunnel vision
Yeah,
that shit,
I'll
and you don't
visit
have to
it.
rape anybody, John. Like it's great. You don't have to lay down either and have your grandmother come in and hug a rapist. That was another thing. Did
Mm.
you see that?
Oh man.
That just, dude, I got sick all week. Did you see the Reebok commercial they put together?
I did. I saw some. Yeah, I saw some stills and
Dude,
some
stills, they
headlines.
made a little action figure. I mean,
Yeah.
could they have? First of all, I don't know about you, John, but when you step in the
I mean,
cage, what kind of
how confident do these guys have to be able to do this? Like they've got to feel like they've got a clear shot of like nothing happening, because
well,
they're putting a whole lot of money. There's no way for this not to look bad if he gets even picked up on the charges or the news breaks of him being investigated.
how about if anybody just reads what the fuck is already out there? Like with a clear brain, not thinking that this guy's a superhero. I don't get it. Like, first of all, sneaker deals for MMA fighters are nice. I'm glad they're getting those. But John, let me ask you, what kind of low top or high top do you usually step into the cage with?
I like my sandals when I'm walking out to the cage.
Yeah,
Some
yeah, like
Reebok
you should be.
sandals.
They should be doing
That'll
it for
work.
Crocs on the walk-ins. I mean, let's be honest. Like,
Hmm.
it's not like you're Michael fucking Jordan and wearing these things, dunking on people. You know,
Mm.
it blows my mind, and yet they're selling this guy like he is Michael Jordan, like he is that guy, and
They see an opportunity to make some money.
I mean, huge money. What
That's
do you?
for
All
sure.
right,
Big
so
money.
likelihood, no one gets injured. The Khabib Tony fight happens. The only thing I see him doing is trying to fight Masvidal for money, right? I mean, they could put him in there with another fucking dive fight. I don't think Masvidal dives. I mean, do you think there's another guy
Mm.
out there they can put him up against that'll lay down?
No, I don't think so. Not that I would.
You could put
Not
anything
yeah.
money
Well, wait,
wise, anything could
55 or
happen.
170? I don't think so. No.
No, I can't think of another fight. I mean, you look at one. Usman's not going to lay down for him. I don't care how much money they lay out for
Hmm.
him. He's already. I mean, even with his bank account with a 500,000, I'm sure he feels comfortable enough where he'd be like, "Fuck that! I'm not going to take a dive." Especially,
Mm.
he looks like a guy that wants to build his dynasty. He's got a strong wrestling base. He's willing to strike. You know, that division is pretty
He's got a
weak
nice
right
hat.
now. I know what you think. It's pretty garbage, but it's not.
He's got a nice hat. I
He's
like his
got a
hat.
nice hat. He's got a
Got a
nice
nice hat.
jacket. I like him. I think he's cool. I think he brings a nice rounded amount of skills to the table. I'm not one of those guys that shits on wrestlers. You know, I mean, I've followed
Hmm.
Khabib's career the entire time. Show me someone that can stop it. Show me somebody that can stop it. We'll talk. Nate's always there. Nate's not going to take a dive.
Hmm.
Did you see what he tweeted
Well, I
out?
mean, Nate is Nate's. I feel he's pretty weathered
He
at
still
this
went three
point.
with
I
with
think as he's
Masvidal,
kind
and
of
it
weathered
wasn't
and
done.
aged, and I think that could be another one of their boost him up fights because I don't think Nate would do well in another fight.
No, oh,
After what happened with Masvidal, I don't think. And then now Connor's got another 10 pounds of
oh, they'll let Connor
muscle.
juice to the tits for that one. They'll let him come in at 173.
So he's had ample time for his body to be big and strong and muscular. So like him fighting Nate at 170, I don't know if he can take any more damage from 170-pound fighters hitting him.
I still got Nate in that fight. Go Nate. If they offer you that one and they're gonna let that rapist continue to fight, fucking somebody end his career. That was the other thing, man. As soon as he stepped in and all that money was made, that like I feel like a big loss. This rape thing, the first one. First of all, the fact that it didn't come out before the second allegation shows you
Hmm.
rapist's gonna rape. Like, I mean, how much screaming and yelling can you do? Like Ruth Coppinger said, what are women to do in Ireland if they see this Irish sports star and his crew out? Run and hide? Should they just go run and hide? It seems
Hmm.
that way. Like, I'm glad I'm a dude. I can't even believe it. Yeah, like they're scrubbed so much stuff from the internet. Like, for instance, have you ever seen that first bar fight with McGregor in November of 17?
Hmm.
Of course you haven't. So, other than punching a man in the bar, there's an all out fucking melee video of him, Irish gangsters, and whatever in a bar fight. All right? Type it in November 17. All I can find of it nowadays is like the screenshot from the fucking Snapchat video that leaked online. They do a good
Hmm.
job of cleaning stuff up. And
Yeah.
even, Luke Thomas said it. He's like, listen, anybody out there that thinks they're out there to smear Conor McGregor on this, they're not. People don't know. If anything, there's a concerted effort to keep it from people. And, that just shows the access limitations you've talked about forever and the
Yeah.
pro wrestling aspect.
Well, I mean, when everything, that also points at problems with monopolies that Google has over, people searching for search engines and things, related to Connor and his situation or anybody else, any politician, any news that they don't want you to have. It's, yeah, man, it's kind of scary. I think we really need to put some people in office that are going to try to do something about monopolies.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to, unfortunately. Like you just talked
Mm.
about that. And for instance, when you have Disney, right? not only you think, well, ESPN's in competition with Fox Sports, they're in big competition, but they're not because Fox has The Simpsons, and The Simpsons is on Disney Plus. There's an exclusive deal there. And by the way, Disney just put out a new Star Wars movie, and they're
Hmm.
advertising that on every single network. And every
Hmm.
single network has a flavor of Disney. And by the way, Disney also has Hulu in that combo pack of Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. And Hulu takes shows from every network. So if your show wants a deal to be on Hulu, maybe you should shut your fucking mouth. And
I think they're the stuff they're doing with YouTube right now. They're trying to force creators to put everything behind a paywall.
mhm.
I think that's really what their whole purpose of demonetizing videos and all that other shit is, so that you finally just go, okay, fine, it's a subscription channel and people have to pay to see my stuff.
And I have that, and I haven't done that yet. Like actually got approved for memberships. They won't approve me fucking to have my T-shirts underneath, the bastards. Even though that's a smaller tier and probably
Mhm.
and something that I feel is fair because I'll actually make more money on it. The problem is
Yep.
YouTube takes 30%, and they're already going to censor me. That's where I have the
Yeah.
biggest issue with doing
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you're taking 30% YouTube, and now you're asking me for these what $5 tiers, and then the 15 to 20 tier, and then the 20 to 100 tier. Well, you get 30% of that, and you still aren't going to let me say or do what the fuck I want, and I've got to still walk on eggshells. Now, that's why I'm kind of doing Rockfin. So I'm putting out 5 videos a week there. Once, if I don't do it Monday through Friday, I skip out. I make sure I do one on there. But like I said, I'll be able to show that copyrighted content of the fight and not worry about being completely deplatformed.
Mhm.
Right? And sharing it with an audience that, although it's behind a paywall, it's a $9.99 paywall. It's not a $9.99 paywall a month just for Jason Burmis. It's a $9.99 paywall for exclusive stuff from me. Ron Placone's on there, Nico House, Graham Elwood, Ben Askren, Jordan Burroughs. So you get a lot more content. Um, and it pays me in crypto, which hopefully the Ray coin will take off. But at the same time, it's a derivative of Ethereum for those in the crypto world. And then you can also take it and convert it right to Bitcoin. And then you can cash out at any time too. So,
I've been playing around with the Twitch app.
oh, are you going to do it? You're going to start streaming some gaming?
Well, no,
Yeah.
not Twitch, Twitch.
Twitch.
TWETCH
Enlighten us,
app.com.
Mr. Fitch.
Well, there's a lot of controversy behind it because it's run on the platform or whatever, the BSV code, right? And BSV is tied to like the Craig Wright guy saying that he's Satoshi, and there's a lot of people mad. I had Kevin Pham on my John Fitch Knows Nothing podcast and talked about BSV, and he was saying that the code forked and the old code is BSV. It's what the original white paper instructed for the code to be, and then the new fork, which is the Bitcoin now, is he says it's the communist coin. you have to listen to his explanation of why it's more representative of communism.
Uh-huh.
But he's saying like people will figure out eventually, but BSV is the original Bitcoin. I don't know if that's true. That's just the argument.
I've
You have to
heard,
listen to
hey,
him.
listen, first of all, I'm kind of worried about even talking about crypto as that's the new thing they like to go after on YouTube and like give you strikes for or just take down
Mm.
videos for. First of all, I've always said I'm not a crypto expert, and I'm one of those guys that says the rug can be pulled out from under that any moment with quantum computing.
Don't play with don't put anything into it. You can't afford to lose.
Every fucking time. Now, at the same time, it may be a good investment to play around with in quick, anonymous or quick monetary transactions elsewhere across
Well,
these.
that's where this Twitch comes
Twitch.
into play, right? So basically, it runs like a Instagram or a Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and you create an account, you get a money button,
Mm-hmm.
and it costs you money to post content. But like that post goes on to the blockchain, so it's like you can't censor it; it's there forever, right? So your picture, your meme, your thing you wrote that gets uploaded, and it's there forever. It's enshrined on the blockchain forever. So there's the advantage of that. If you're worried about getting censored or what you're saying is going to get censored, you could use that. But it's also you have to pay money for you to follow somebody.
Yeah.
Right? If I want to follow somebody, it costs me 10 cents to follow them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what.
And
All right.
then
So check it out.
and then it costs me money. Then I have to put money into if I want to comment on what they said. So there's a cost. There's a cost to your reaction to things. People can share. It's called a branch. You can share the information or whatever they're posting. So it's pretty interesting. I think it's the first time that
Understood
I've
the
seen an
value.
actual use case for any of these currencies.
All right,
Like
so check
you
it
could
out.
use it and it actually works.
All right, so that's what this is like that. All right, so that's what Rockfin is essentially. It's very similar. So here's the difference. So instead of paying 10 cents each on a subscriber base, right? What they do is here's this feed, right? So let me just go to my channel really quick. Okay. Now, so far I have 323 followers, but you don't have to pay anything to follow me, right? You could sign up for Rockfin right now. Now, each one of these things I can choose to just give away. Like if you see this just checked, I can just make like a social media post. But then for people that have the premium subscription, they have, say, exclusive rights to that. So I post some stuff, but I make sure that there's 5 premium things there a week. Now, if you pay that $10 flat, you can do the same thing with Ben Askren, Burroughs, Graham Elwood, etc. So how does this work with crypto? So how do I get paid for any of this, right? So every time they take the subscription money, they then take that into an amount of RAE, which is their token, RAE, that they then mint and burn. What does that mean? Minting means that they make it and then it goes out to all the creators, right? So they mint 10,000 in each one of these, usually daily. And then some burn. Now there'll only be 35 million of these, so obviously the production of RAE will go down as it gets older. You know what I mean? Now, if more people hit that subscribe button and paid the money to join me, and I get a text every time somebody, let's just log out of here really quick. Log out. Okay, and then we're just going to go back to mine. And now there's an endorse button. So anyone who clicks the endorse button and buys it through that, I get a text message, and it lets me know that person joined because of me. You know what I mean? So that, accompanied with the analytics and algorithm of how many people watch my videos and for how long, every day I get an email of how much RAE goes into my crypto account. Okay? So sometimes I get 100, sometimes I get 187, sometimes I get 50. But progressively, what I've seen is each day, RAE has gone up. Like the first day it was minted, that it came to me, it was at 20 cents. And now it's at like 27 cents a RAE. But even making, if I wanted to cash out that day, I'm on the average of $20 to $25 a day for doing a 10-minute video. I really can't beat those numbers. And if I hold on to it and RAE ends up going up to $2 or $3 before I cash out, and I continue to do so, it could be a decent penny. Or if I just want to convert it into another crypto. But the basis of RAE's value is how many people are visiting and creating content here. I think that's pretty ingenious. But I get what it's pretty similar where instead of each creator the 10 cents and that's the value, it's kind of a monthly subscription based value. You should get in on this, John. Yeah, this is where you want to be. Oh. I mean, especially
Are you uploading the videos directly to that platform?
Yeah. So like, I'll even show you because I'll sign back in while I'm off thing really quick. Let me log in, even though it's hidden. So it's actually what's even cool. Another reason that I chose this platform, say over a Patreon, right, where I get the money directly, but it's $1 or it's 100 or I have to GoFundMe for that. You know what I mean? That's what I do the monthly GoFundMe for. If you want to give me a little money, great. You want to give me a lot, I'm not promising you anything other than I'm giving you a service. But what's great about this is it also lets me stream live. So let me just get you off for a second there. If you see, you have the video option. You could put a podcast up there. Then you could put an article. You could stack like a thread. But there it is right there is the live stream right there. So once this gets big enough and already, you bring the subscribers in, when you have premium content and you're live streaming, it's only going to be your live stream premium subscribers that you interact with. You know what I'm saying? Making it even more viable for people to be premium members. So that's pretty cool. I think that one of the things that say was missing from the BitChute platform, which I also like, right, and upload to. Number one, it's only in beta for some people to get paid, right? And number two, you can't live stream.
Mm.
Live streaming is important, man, especially in today's day and age. I think it's taken over. I think that cable and that type of entertainment will continue to die, and it'll be between live sports and streaming services and what they carry, right?
Pretty much. It's all going to be, yeah, it's like streaming wars already. It's been going on, content wars, like I've kind of dubbed it, but it's going to continue on for a while. And you're going to have like two, maybe three main services that provide all of the shows. Like, you're going to have like one thing that,
Look at
provides a
Disney.
bunch
They
of the
did it.
sports.
They did it,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, Netflix is like the rival, I guess, but guess what they don't have? Any of Disney's
Mm,
shit anymore. And you know what else they don't
mm,
have? They don't have they don't have the live sports rights, and they don't have the cable deals. Netflix,
mm.
don't get me wrong, Netflix is a leviathan right now. And it's
Pirated shit's gonna get, the quality's gonna get way better. Because they're putting the pressure. They are like, somebody's gonna figure out a way to solve the problem. Like, they're tired of dealing with these people. They want to get all the shows and not pay for two different services. It's going to be a lot of ingenious stuff and a lot of crazy crackdowns against, pirates in the future.
well, but on their end, the UFC Dana was acting like it was Daddy Warbucks, record numbers for a streaming service ever after this, and it probably was. And they
Well, I mean, it's still affordable, and it's still, I don't know, maybe it's one of those entertainment things that it's entertainment and alcohol, like even in hard times, people have money for.
yeah. What
You
is
know,
that? Is that fucking
they're
Huxley, or
rec-
is that
they're they're recession proof, I think maybe.
what class? The proletariat class.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
always want to booze. Well, you'd think
so
that,
even if they
man.
can't afford health care, they can't afford food or healthy food. They can't afford health care. They can't afford education, or they're indebted into debt. They still
No, they want
have
you in
10
servitude.
they still have 10 to 20 bucks a month to throw into the streaming service and watch all their shit.
You're not wrong. Well, it'll come with their job too eventually, their surf job. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Oh, if you work for, Time
Oh, if you
Warner, you'll
work for
get
Apple, if you work for Xfinity, if you work for this company,
yeah.
look at the package you get. You get an entertainment package instead of healthcare.
You better fucking believe it, John. That's where
You
you
get
think
to
it's funny,
you get to
man.
pick three sports, choice between comedy, whatever. Oh my God,
Oh, 5 devices at once.
communism is going to come, and we're not even going to notice.
It's already coming with your
Like, all
fucking.
of our services are going to be communist anyways,
Mhm.
and like the government's not even going to notice. Everything's just going to run that way.
Oh,
If people knew how many of our problems were really caused by like this like pseudo socialism, guaranteed money to certain farmers for growing a certain number of certain products every year, and then you have to create ways to use what was grown.
yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
people don't understand, the paid surpluses and paid not to
Yeah,
produce
yeah.
certain things and the strangles. But wait, you can't really blame them because they also make them suck on the teat of. Did you see that the Trump administration wants to overturn the Roundup verdict from Bayer and Monsanto? Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's to the point, while that's going on, while they're paying farmers not to grow things, the things that they're forced to grow are GMO, and if they don't buy those seeds, they just get sued out of fucking off their
Hmm.
farm, and they can't compete against these big motherfuckers. It's oh, you're gonna depress me even more than the rape stuff.
No, everything's gonna just be owned by one company. And one company is gonna be like, like, you can't stop globalism because that's what it's going to. Like, all the companies that exist in the world will eventually become one. Isn't that what's going to happen? Like,
I mean,
that's what keeps
does that
happening.
just become Lucifer? Is that the AI
The,
Lucifer,
the,
Elon
the, the
Musk
businesses
god?
just keep getting bigger and bigger and absorbing each other. Like, isn't that eventually where it's going to come? That's what we're headed towards. Sooner or later, it's going to be one company that runs everything, and we're going to say pledge allegiance to the company.
Mhm. Pledge allegiance to the company. I don't know, man. I don't even know if it gets that far. I feel like right now we're in this really weird place where they've tested so many obvious truths to be attacked as lies, like there are two genders, like
Mhm.
pedophilia, isn't normal, and those people should go to jail. like people who do bad things should stay
Yeah,
in
but
jail.
all that's distraction. All that's distraction, so we don't pay attention that they're all buying each other up and becoming one company.
I think it's more than that. I think it's also that whole transhumanist movement to get you to
Mm.
think that you're not even a human fucking being, dude. I
You're
really
not.
do.
You're a cell in the organization. You're a cell. You're a cell in the company.
You're a brick in the wall, man.
Yes, you're a
But
cell in the company. The
they
company
won't
is the
sell it
most
that
important
way.
thing.
Yeah, but they're going to sell it more like this. You are individuality. You get to decide what you are. You're your own imagination. You can take any form or be anything you want. Not that you're actually part of this fucking conglomerate and mind control. You know what I mean? I mean, look what it lets you do. That first Elon Musk brain chip's gonna let you control fucking things and forget the clapper, bro. You're gonna walk into your house and you're gonna dim the lights for your date, as you know, like, and turn on the fucking music, just thinking it. You won't say, "Hey Siri, play fucking." I don't even know what the kids are listening to. I'm so out of it. Play fucking. What? What
Billie
is?
Eilish, is that a
Who
thing?
is it?
Billie Eilish, is
Billie
that a thing?
Eilish. His name. You said no. That's a
Yeah.
chick. Billie
Is
Eilish is a
that
chick.
Billie Eilish? Is that a chick?
It is.
Yeah,
She's
I
like
don't know.
18. I saw I was trying to watch a Hot Ones with her the other day, and I felt so old and out of touch. Have you watched any of the Hot Ones yet?
I
The
don't
Wing
think so.
Show. That it's the best, man. The Wing. So basically, but believe me, it's rigged now. But back in the day, it wasn't rigged, and like people would quit. So they would eat progressively 10 hotter chicken wings, and you'd have these stars sitting
Mm.
there. Yeah. So like at first it's nothing, but you get to chicken wing 4, and all of a sudden shit's getting real. And like I'd say the best one was like Riff Raff.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah, I
Riff
follow him on
Raff
Twitter.
and this is still before it's staged, right? And he's getting to like 6 or 7, and they're talking, and you can tell like his whole fucking persona is just fading away. Like he's having trouble because he can't think because his shit is so hot, and he can't fucking think that his persona is melting away. His shtick, and you just see people. Oh, dude, like who's that big fucking fat DJ guy? Fucking DJ Khaled, right? DJ
Mm.
Khaled goes on there, and he thought he was getting punked. He quit after 3 wings. Fucking Rob Corddry went on there. I think he lasted like 7. Like I said, now it's fixed. But back in the day, like when they had Key and Peele on there, you see people like visibly fold
Losing
and
it.
say shit they wouldn't. It's genius. It's
No,
brilliant.
I tried. There was a Cluck University or something. I think they named the place, name of the place up here, but they had a hot wing challenge, and if you could eat 10 of them for you could finish 10 of them, you got them for free. So I was like, I'm broke. I'm
Mhm.
gonna try my luck. I ate like one, and it was just too much. It was ridiculous. Like it was a paste. They had put a huge paste of just hot shit on there.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't do it. But then like I had no 9 wings left. I was like, I'm not throwing them away. So I took them home. I couldn't afford to do that. I took them home and rinsed them all off, washed them off, and patted them down with napkins. And then I had it for lunch the next day. And then
Did
it
you
was
still
still
bleed out
hot.
your asshole?
It was still hot, yeah. But I was managed to eat them. But then like I first off I scratched myself
No.
before I washed my hands, and that was
Yeah.
a problem. And I mostly washed it off and got that done. And then later, my stomach exploded or threw out my ass.
Yeah.
My stomach exploded through my ass
Huh.
on a fireball, and yeah, that was no good. I had to call in and not go to work out the next day. It was a bad experience.
So
All around
not
bad
doing hot
experience.
ones anytime soon then. That's too bad.
Mm,
We'd like to see a John Fish hot ones. I'll send you one
good
of my
times.
favorites on there. Jesse Schmidt, he says with the $5 super chat, thank you, Jesse. When Ferguson beats Khabib,
Oh,
will you trade
oh,
in your Slipknot hat for a fedora for a week? I'll tell you what, if you send me that fedora, Jesse Schmidt, and that happens, I will wear it for a week. Although I'm not a fedora guy. I never caught that trend. You ever catch that one? No,
no,
no.
it's not a fedora guy.
The only
It's
reason
like there's only a few people who have the right type of face and head that can pull it off, but way too many people wear it, and it looks really bad.
I mean, I feel like if I was like in the 1920s, maybe I'd give it a shot, but like, I don't know. Any of that. Did you ever have like one of those like
I mean, I feel like a lot of soy boys ruined the fedora.
You know what I wish that
You know
I
what I
could
mean?
get?
Like when I moved downtown a little over a year ago, like I saw the scooters, the Lime scooters and stuff out around. I was like, oh, cool. Those would be cool to get around and whatever. But then I saw like guys with backpacks and Star Wars shirts riding them around, and I thought,
I'm that guy.
maybe not. I'll stick to walking.
Dude,
I'll just walk it out.
I wish we still had like I'm freezing. Like it was crazy. Like walked my dog today. My dog was whining because it was sunny out. It's fucking like 14 degrees, wind chill. Forget about it. Below zero, just awful. But I miss the days of when like a guy could wear like the headband, that went around the ears that didn't have the huge earmuff thing. Or you remember it was just a straight headband. Usually had like a sports team on it. You could, if you had hair on your head, you were still warm up there, but the ears and your forehead were the big problem.
I made like sport ones you could wear under your helmet and stuff.
Yeah, you can't find those fucking anywhere. I look for those on eBay. It's always like the thin guy, or it's got poofy ears, or it's got an elephant attached to it, or something wants to look horrible. Come on, dude, make something for the 40-year-old dude that wants fucking just to cover his ears, kept his hair. Somebody, please. Oh, I'm not trying to make a fashion statement. Oh, Fitch. Upcoming
What's the next
fights.
the next big fight?
That's the thing. The next
When is
big
the
one.
Bud and Cyborg?
Bud and Cyborg, I think, is in February. The next big one is actually Jones and I think Bud
Reyes?
and Cyborg's mid-February. February 8th is Jones versus Reyes is the next big one. I mean, what do you got? I got Jones. I think I'd love to see Reyes get in there.
I haven't seen enough of Reyes.
I feel like he lost to fucking Uzdamar.
When I don't know, is it Corey Anderson?
Yeah.
I think he's the guy.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
I agree. He's the guy.
He's gonna win.
And they put him up against Blagojevich, one of the fucking toughest motherfuckers in the division. And the guy's already beat. And they're hoping that he fucking wears him down and they can ride Jones out another 6 months and let him have all the cocaine and juice he has. But you know what, John? As far as I know, you haven't almost raped and killed a woman. So God bless you, and you defended your belts. You are... listen, as much as the story, I wish the story was Daniel Cormier, because I love Cormier as a person. And in a lot of ways, Daniel did things John didn't. Smaller guy, took on the heavyweight division, came up from Strikeforce in a tournament as an alternate, as an unknown, and really didn't lose all the way through that.
Switch promotions, go different places. Like,
Daniel,
yeah, man, fought some top guys early in his career.
Super early. Early. I think he was 6-0 when he was in that Strikeforce tournament. Something. I mean, maybe he was 7 or 8-0, but not much more than that. I remember when he came in. He came in, and who was it he beat first? Was it Bigfoot Silva? Was that the first one? I'm gonna bring up. I think
that was his first. Barnett in the finals, right?
I think so. I think that
Bigfoot might have been the second fight.
Well, because he came in as an alternate. So let me see.
Okay,
we're gonna bring him in.
He probably had somebody before that as a qualifier or something. I would think he fought somebody in Strikeforce first.
He might have fought. Yes, he did. He fought Jeff Munson. It looks like in Strikeforce. Yes, he did. So what do we got here? So actually, he came in at 6-0 in Strikeforce. That's right. So he fought 2 guys before the tournament, and it was Devin Cole and Jeff Munson. Jeff Munson, tough guy. Both decisions, you know what I mean? And he was coming up. And he even fucking did it on the Overeem versus Verdum card. Man, damn, that was man, I love the Strikeforce days. And yes, he beat both Antonio Silva first in that tournament, and then he beat Barnett. I mean, dude, and then so many people, only losing to Jones. Tossed around another one of my heroes, Dan Henderson, like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Oh, great fight.
Yeah, he spun him like a top.
Dude, when he picked him up over his body and slammed him down. And Dan Henderson is such a decorated wrestler. I watched
well, he's a Greco wrestler.
Well, I think he's just so much smaller than fucking
Greco guys upper body. So they don't do the leg attacks as much.
So what are you saying? Are you not a Greco guy? Are you kind of taking you throwing a little shade the Greco wrestling way?
Just saying. Like there's a reason why an Olympic level freestyle guy can get in on the legs and do that to a Greco guy.
So what were you? Were you freestyle when you went in?
No, I folk style because that's the American style. I didn't start. I started in the 4th grade with folk style, and I didn't start doing freestyle till 7th grade. But then I started doing freestyle and Greco. But there's just not that many guys that do Greco.
Okay.
At least there wasn't at the time.
Dude, I was watching. Actually, it was on Rockfin. So I was watching on Rockfin. Man, now I'm trying to think who it was. A wrestling coach, Vinny, someone or other. But like, just watching all those kids in a room full of like 150 kids going at it, rolling, sweating, grinding. I don't think people get it. Like,
They don't. They have no idea
they like.
what wrestling is.
I mean, you've got a pool of all those kids coming up, and they're there every day. And don't get me wrong, some work harder than others, but they're getting tossed around, they're getting thrown on the mat, et cetera, et cetera. To get into an elite level with those, and then transition that elite level into a mixed martial arts elite level. What kind of mindset does somebody have? Do you just give yourself over to it for a certain period of time until it just becomes...
It's obsessive. I mean, I don't know exactly. I can't explain it exactly. It was just I'm doing this thing, and that's all that matters. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna stick to this. I'm gonna be disciplined. This is gonna be hard, but it's gonna be worth it. And especially with wrestling, there's no money. There wasn't any money in it before, and even now, it's like a very small few that cross over into MMA and are able to make money after wrestling in high school and college. So there's just something that draws us into battle. Maybe I'm not sure what it is. Testosterone.
Well,
you gotta pick people up and throw them down.
Sounds like you need some Beyond Meat, John. It looks like somebody needs some Impossible Whoppers in their life.
Need to increase my
you fucking heathen
intake.
You know what? I gotta send it to you. But like, I was watching. I'm still watching it. Jimmy Dore and Joe Rogan on the latest podcast, and they were shitting on those men's rights conferences. And I know that you kind of like, you listen to both, especially Dore. Maybe that should be your in, taking a little piece of that and trying to explain to them, because they were like, Joe was like, oh, there must be just a bunch of betas going to this thing. And I'm thinking to myself, I far from think, Fitch is a beta. And then, some of the guys that I've gotten put in contact in my Twitter feed or whatever, like the Bobby Dinos of the world or whatever, are people that I'm assuming that you met through those channels.
Yeah.
So I think that they have like such a, and me, I'm not a big pusher of like the men's rights movement, and I'm not a huge guy on Stefan Molyneux, but I think that there are some interesting points to be made everywhere, and especially in the realm of custody of a child and having that input into another human being's life that you helped create, I think is one of the most atrocious grievances against men in this country that people don't realize until they're put in that situation, And I think that is an important thing. I mean, you're actually talking about the livelihood of your kids and of the people that are growing up around.
The idea that that a man wouldn't want to learn how to be a man from somebody else. Like, people are just born know how to do shit. Like Michael Jordan just knew how to play basketball. I just knew how to fight. Like, I'm not a bitch. I'm not a beta because I never had to learn how to do anything from anybody. And when you look at 40% of fatherlessness among children today, I think it seems like there's a big problem with men not being around to teach their boys how to grow up and be men. So there is a group of guys who spent their adolescence and childhood and young adults not around men. And they have no idea what they're supposed to do with themselves. They don't understand how the world works.
No, they don't. And listen,
what's wrong with asking for help? I don't understand that.
Oh, the other thing is like one of the biggest regrets in my life is that I've never been around cars really. I can't fix a car. I can't change my own oil. It's shameful. I could maybe look it up online and fumble with it, but that's one thing I wish I could have learned through another, a male influence. But hey, if it was a female influence,
and I don't hear anybody ragging on life coaches. How many people are life coaches? How many people go to a jujitsu gym and have a black belt who teaches them shit.
Yeah, you know
Like,
what? Glad you said that. I wanted to get this out. Fuck you, Tony Robbins. Fuck you, Tony Robbins. Fuck you, Tony Robbins. Fuck you, man. In fucking Connor's corner at that fucking caged event, part of the fucking circus show, fucking WWE wrestling bullshit. You know what he did, Robbins. You fucking know. Wow. That fucking kills me too, man. Again, having to see everybody pedal out for that cash. Cowboy, don't you ask him that question about sexual assault. Tony Robbins fucking sitting there in the rapist corner, man. You're supposed to be helping people. And by the way, Tony
is
Robbins,
Robin's represented by WME?
he probably is fucking represented by WME Entertainment.
I bet he is.
Yeah, that, you know what? Wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the grift, bro. Remember, he's a family man now. He's changing his life. He's going positive. He's looking forward. He's getting in the future. There's a lot of hand movement. Like, oh, I didn't even think about that WME connection. John Fitch always coming up with the fucking info. Oh. With that being said, guys, it's about that time to wrap up Mixed Martial Mindset. We do it every Monday. You can catch the audio broadcast of this over on thegruelingtruth.com tomorrow. A lot of great sports podcasts on there. They carry your podcasts over there as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you do
John
those
Fitch
on
knows
Podbean, and you just had Zuby on. For those
Zuby on.
not familiar with Zuby, this has not gotten enough views. Tell them about the Zoobster.
Zuby, he came across my timeline a while ago because he broke the national deadlift and bench press record in England for women. He decided to identify as a woman one day and went and entered this powerlifting competition and absolutely smashed the records for deadlift and the bench press. So now he's the record holder there for females in England.
Smashed it,
Which
huh?
I think it's pretty incredible. But he did that to kind of prove a point. He played by their rules and showed them that you got to have some kind of standard, or this is just something that'll happen. He's also a rapper. He's been around the States. He lived most of his life in Saudi Arabia.
Really?
So that was really, really interesting. Yeah, from like age 1 to 20.
No kidding. I
There's
only watched like the first half.
Like a compound of expats. He kind of said it was like. So they lived out on their own outside of the main area.
What do you think about that movement? When I was working with Luke, he was always trying to get me to fucking like move to Mexico or some shit with him, and like expatriate. And then something unfortunate happened in South America where one of his buddies was like, not buddies, but someone he knew at these conferences got shot up by the cartel, man. Like right in his right in his driveway, and like they spared his girlfriend but shot another guy there who survived. And it's just like, I mean, I'm not Jesse Ventura. I'm not rolling in millions.
They play by different rules in these places.
That's what I'm saying. I've always thought about going somewhere else, but like, where is there to run at the end of the day? I mean, to be part of it, we are part of the first world conversation. You know what I mean? In Western culture, whether we like it or not. USA, you're on like one of the biggest coasts in the world, West Coast. I'm on one of the biggest coasts in the world, East Coast. We can live in any part of suburbia, just being a part of California and New York, anywhere. That's, you're part of that thing. It's a big world out there, but I don't think, again, I think people are naive. Like that couple that was like out in like, what was it? Was it Iran?
I mean, there are definite places and ways to do it. Like when I went and stayed in Thailand for a month, like there's a lot of people who I met who were young people who were doing that, basically living as expats. They just could get their visa stamped and they would just keep traveling from one place to the next. And they had their businesses set up online. This was, 2008. They had businesses set up online, and they'd make enough money. They'd make $3,000 to $5,000 a month from their business online. And that was enough for them to live like kings around like the Southeast Asian islands and different parts of the world. So they would, do that. It always sounded interesting to me, and they seemed like it was fun and it was doable. I think, as a journalist, you might run into some different problems though, because you might be kicking up some beehives that don't want to get kicked up.
Yeah. I know, and sometimes I get like I did that Reddit AMA this week, and somebody was asking me, is like, "Oh, do you ever get worried because you give away your town?" And I'm like, "Listen, man, there's crazy people everywhere. At least I know the community around here, and like, hopefully, I don't get famous enough where I have to get secluded. I would hate that. I mean, I assume you get recognized on the street, but it's not so much that you can't go out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
it's
And
yeah, it's
I mean, dude, it's just like I want some anonymity, and if it ever comes to the point where I can't have that anonymity, what can we say to ourselves as a society that someone just basically jerking off on the internet trying to talk to people has to watch their back because everybody's that butthurt or they're such a threat to the man? I mean, but then
mhm.
again, what's today? Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it was just one man with a big voice that was a threat to the man. And I think you would agree with me that, it wasn't just James Earl Ray that took him out with a rifle. I mean, he was
Yeah,
obviously
concerted
targeted.
effort.
Yes. So johnfitch.net is the website, guys. Make sure you go check out my rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. If you join and you do endorse, it helps me out. I'm doing 5 original videos, live streams there a week. You can subscribe here, thumbs up the video, doing 3 to 7 videos a day here. And yes, we are going to do the McGregor mini doc. I'm promising it. I don't know what I'm calling it yet. I might call it the Irish Handshake. I don't know yet. What do you think, Fitch? What should I call my McGregor
Mm.
documentary?
The Lion Leprechaun.
The Lying Leprechaun. Maybe it will be that. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, New World Order, Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture free right here, right now in my documentaries playlist section. And if you want to support me financially, $5, $10, $15 over on the GoFundMe means the world to me. We will see you next week. John Fitch, I'll see you later.
Later, dude. Check you later, people.